You can always count on Sophie Cunningham to speak her mind, and this time, she's clearly not impressed. Her comments make it obvious she's unhappy with how the CBA negotiations are being handled.
Our CBA is so dumb right now that like it's heading towards the lockout. So
no progress.
No.
Like just nothing.
Honestly, nothing. We get like weekly emails from the PA side of things, and it's just so dumb.
Yeah.
We can debate who Sophie Cunningham thinks is being foolish in this entire process, the owners or the players, but my gut says her frustration is aimed squarely at the union. If you agree, go ahead and hit that like button. And here's why. Respected voices around the league are starting to sound the alarm about how the players are handling these negotiations. Chief among them is one of the old guard's most trusted voices of reason, Rebecca Lobo. Over the past year, Lobo has consistently called it like it is, pointing out Caitlin Clark's singular impact on the league and repeatedly urging the WNBA to raise its standards, especially when it comes to officiating. As a former player, she has perspective, credibility, and a far better read on these dynamics than most. So when Rebecca Lobo speaks, people listen. And what she said recently feels like a clear warning shot to the players. You've lost the optics battle. It's time to recalibrate, play this smarter, and wrap it up. With a few new developments that surfaced just moments before recording, it's becoming clear that both the league and the WNBA Players Association know the pressure is mounting. The walls are closing in, and this negotiation feels closer to the finish line than many want to admit. Here's what Lobo actually said. Some of the rhetoric I've heard from their side has been a little bit troublesome. I think the players just need to be a little more careful with how they're articulating things. Because if you're working whatever job with a max salary of $1, $2 million, and an average salary of $500,000, and you don't think it's fair, that's fine, but don't call it a slap in the face. Of course, she was referencing what's now become an infamous soundbite from Sada Sabali, one that may have shifted public perception more than the players intended.
I think we can focus on our players. In the union, we got a proposal from the league, which was honestly a slap in the face. And I think we really have to put an emphasis on the players that are in our league right now.
And here's why she believes this matters so much. Lobo went on to say, I'm worried the players might be getting to a point where they're losing some of the support from the public. And I think that's been a big part of this all along. To me, that's the real dog whistle to the Players Association. Translation, you're losing the optics battle, and once that happens, your leverage disappears. In any labor negotiation, public support is a powerful weapon. When you have it, it pressures the other side to bend. But when that support erodes, the dynamic flips. And right now, more fans appear to be siding with ownership, something you almost never see. I'd argue the shift started when players wore the "pay us what you owe us" shirts at the All-Star game, then followed it up with what many viewed as a forgettable on-court performance. That contrast didn't land the way it was intended. Even Candace Parker, someone who consistently views the league through a business lens, called it out. And when voices like Parker and Lobo start sounding alarms at the same time, it's a clear sign the narrative has changed.
Y'all cannot come out there with those shirts of "pay us what you owe us" and then do that in the All-Star game.
The underlying sentiment among fans has been pretty consistent. Without Caitlin Clark, the players wouldn't be getting anywhere near what's currently on the table from ownership. And you'd think the players would recognize that, too. After all, why do you think they opted out of the CBA early? That wasn't a coincidence. Yet the Players Association continues to act as if that reality doesn't exist, as if fans aren't primarily tuning in for Caitlin. And from an optics standpoint, that's a nightmare. Just look at this Instagram post from the PA. How do you say with a straight face that viewers are tuning in at the same level for Aya Wilson and Alyssa Thomas? The WNBA Finals ratings told a very different story. I've covered this before, but when you factor in Nielsen's updated methodology, which they openly admit inflates viewership numbers, it's entirely possible that more people watched the Fever's exhibition game against Brazil than the WNBA Finals featuring Aya and Alyssa. It's like telling your mother-in-law you bought her a birthday gift when everyone knows it was your spouse. She'll smile and nod, but nobody's fooled. That's the level of denial we're dealing with right now. And despite what Natasha Cloud says about players being able to hold out while continuing to play an unrivaled, that league's ratings are already tanking. The message from casual fans is loud and clear: without Caitlin Clark, interest drops off fast. Fans were, and still are, supportive of players getting paid more. But the tone is shifting. More and more, the reaction is starting to sound like Mona Lisa Saperstein energy from Parks and Rec, entitled, tone deaf, and disconnected from reality. Which brings us to what I think is the endgame. Sophie Cunningham looks done with all of it, as she's done throughout her career. She's saying out loud what a lot of players are thinking but won't admit publicly. Rebecca Lobo is now flat out warning that the union's rhetoric isn't landing with fans. And then there's what happened today. Brianna Stewart told Front Office Sports she's finally seeing light at the end of the CBA tunnel. Shortly after, the league released the 2026 schedule, a subtle but very real power move. It builds excitement, sets expectations, and if the season doesn't start on time, guess who fans will blame? Again, optics. The walls are closing in. And as Rebecca Lobo strongly hinted, it's probably time to stop posturing, start playing nice, and get back to basketball. Let me know what you think in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching.